Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Premodern, and this is Griffin Oath combo from Patreon subscriber Milan. This is the same person who submitted various Griffin Canyon combo decks to my channel multiple times for Legacy, and they're back in Premodern now. The goal here is the card Griffin Canyon taps to untap target Griffin. If it's a creature, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. If you can somehow make Griffin Canyon into a Griffin creature, it's an infinitely large creature, because it can tap to give itself +1/+1 and untap, and then you do it again until you're happy. The way we do this is the card Verdant Touch, target land becomes a 2/2 creature that's still a land, or Life. All lands you control become 1/1 creatures until end of turn. And then, to make them Griffins, we have Trickery Charm, which one of the modes is target creature becomes the type of your choice until end of turn, and Unnatural Selection, target creature becomes a type other than wall until end of turn. This is fun because Milan, always really clever in deck building and really does put thought and work into these crazy looking brews. This is also an Oath of Druids deck, just one of the top end meta defining power level outliers of the format. And Verdant Touch can target your opponent's lands. If you play out an Oath and your opponent refuses to play a creature, you can make their land into a 2/2, and then you have a Phantom Nishoba. And you could go that way as well. The diamonds and petals help this all happen faster. This is a 4x Sylvan Library deck. We'll be churning through cards pretty aggressively. Enlightened Tutor, Wooded Foothills, and Windswept Heath can all clear library cards we don't want. And continuing the clever webbing of deck building here, webbing of overlapping effects. Wasteland is a big card in this format, which if your opponent puts a Wasteland in play, you simply cannot combo off Griffin Canyon ever, because they'll waste it whenever you decide to attack with it. For that, we have Iridescent Angel and Animate Dead, alongside the deaths that are already in our main deck, and we could just turn into Oath Reanimator. You could pivot off of all this silly stuff entirely and just become, Cabal Therapies come in, additional Oath targets come in, and now we're doing that instead. Compulsion comes in, that's a looting effect. Very cool deck building, all of the pieces used to their fullest. And just on a personal note, Verdant Touch, I specifically remember owning this card when I was like 10 or 11 years old. I'm sure I opened it in one of my first packs of Stronghold. It was kicking around in my collection for a long time. I just had the one, and obviously I put it in every green deck because it was a rare, and that means it's good, right? I wasn't doing anything cool with it. I wasn't turning on Oath of Druids or any such thing. I just had it, and this is one of the cards that sparks the childlike joy in my brain from this era of cards. Well, there it is. This is Griffin Oath with the Reanimator sideboard. Let's do it. I'm on the draw in round 1. I have a turn 1 library with multiple ways to shuffle. I'm in. A Swamp. Dark Ritual. Uh-oh. What's going on around here? Duress. All right. I'm probably going to lose my library here, unless they're worried about Enlightened Tutor having an answer to whatever thing they're about to do. Okay, Enlightened Tutor is the problem. Funeral Charm. Target player discards a card. Targeting me. All right. I will discard, I think it's Gemstone Mine. It appears to be the worst land in my hand. And target player discards a card. Okay, now I have two choices. I could discard the Mox Diamond and slow down, or I could discard another one of the lands and just go all in on the Sylvan Library. I think against Mono Black, I'm going to go all in against the library, and I'm going to discard City of Brass. If my opponent goes Lotus Petal Duress now, I'm going to be in so much trouble. Okay, a Lotus Petal for me. Don't really want that card, but I have it. Fetch a basic forest, and off we go. I could play out Lotus Petal to play around the next discard spell, or I could keep it in my hand to play around the rack. But I think I gotta shred with this library anyway and refill my hand. I'm gonna play around discard. Honestly, in terms of things that could come out of a Dark Ritual, that wasn't that bad. I was expecting the Duress or Funeral Charm myself, reanimate a monster. All right, there's the rack. Do you have 2 of them? Okay, good news. Okay, I'm taking 3, and then library, and okay. If I take 4 life now, that's 1 less life that I lose for every turn of the rest of the game. The game would have to go 4 or more turns for it to be worth it for me to take Mox Diamond here. Do I have a tutor target that can give them a creature? No, but I can shuffle my deck. I'm going to put Mox Diamond on top, and I will pay 4 to keep the Oath. If they duress me, I can tutor in response. If they don't, I'll just keep this card in my hand and start getting ahead of the rack. Curse Scroll. Okay, well, that's an extra 2 damage per turn, guaranteed. Yeah, my Seal of Cleansing's in the sideboard, unfortunately, focusing on the combo game 1. All right, I'm gonna take 2, and then Library. I'm really looking for Verdant Touch. Mox Diamond on top, and if I pay 4, then play out another Library, the Library will see the same cards, but I can Enlighten Tutor in between. I'm at 6, I'm at 4. I'm running out of time here. If I pay 8, I just die. Alright, I think I only get to keep 1 card here. Am I going to tutor and fail to find? Like, I just don't even actually want any of the artifacts or enchantments in my deck? That's awkward, but I think necessary. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8. I might be able to have a Phantom Nishoba and play at 2 life here. But they are in the position that if they draw something like a discard spell... Oh, Pox. Alright, so... loses a third of the life, discards a third of their cards in hand, sacrifices a third of the creatures and lands. Alright, it's all rounded up, so I only have 1 of these. I'm going to lose my whole hand no matter what here. Opponent's going to put themselves out of the Curse Scroll. Well, that's actually interesting. Okay, I mean, it resolves. I can't stop it. Okay. I discard Tutor. If I cast this Enlightened Tutor, I die in 2 turns. Alright, do I take all this extra damage for a shuffle? I don't think I do. Oh, this game is so sweet. Okay, Life Death. I don't have any lands to animate anymore. Okay, if I put on top, and life does not help me animate my opponent's cards. I go to 3 in my next upkeep, and I get a library trigger. I need them to, like... what do I need them to draw? Something like Relentless Rats. Something that they wouldn't cast and also isn't a land. There's not a lot of things that meet that criteria, but there are some. Okay, I'm out of the rack, and I found a Verdant Touch. Interesting. I actually lose because if I animate that swamp, they just attack me with it, then I take 1, so I gotta wait a turn. This game is getting really interesting. We're actually, like, almost stable. Oh no, they found the land. Now I don't think I can win. Yeah, that Pox was actually clutch. The resource denial didn't matter that much, but losing a third of my life mattered a lot. Dark Ritual. I can't cast a spell because I lose to Tutor. Or I lose to Rack. And I do not have the ability to do anything with this. That was actually so tight. Cool. Okay, we're playing against the Rack. What do I do with that information? I mean, Seal of Cleansing would have been huge that entire game. I'm fairly confident this is a Wasteland deck, or at least it would make sense in my brain if it was. Okay, Angel, Compulsion, Animate Dead. Animate Dead's a little awkward because you can get it with Enlightened Tutor, which is why it's here, but it can't enchant Iridescent Angel because it would come into play and then it would fall off and then the Angel would die. Little bit of non-bow in deck building there, but I think the juice of getting to Enlightened Tutor for it is worth it. Okay. Trickery, Charm, Unnatural Selection. These are the cards I don't need in my deck if I'm not comboing off. Verdant Touch can turn on my Oath, which matters a lot. Enlightened Tutor is a card negative spell to cast in a matchup that's just about cards. Though it does get the Animate Dead, but that only matters if I have Phantom Nishoba. And then that can still die to Pox or whatever. Do I want 0 ways to combo out? Like, should I have the Unnatural Selection still in just in case? And if I do that, probably Mox Diamond comes out, because that's another card negative effect. A Petal's probably worse than Diamond, right? And Diamond costs 2 cards where Petal doesn't, but this stays in play as a mana source that's hard to mess with. Okay. This is my decision. If I knew more about Premodern, I might take the draw here, but my opponent took the play last game, which makes me think they're not that worried about it. Okay, I'm going to go first. Oh, wow. This is like the whole combo, but Duress breaks it. Okay, I am going to keep. I'm going to go for the turn 2 win here. So turn 1, I play Unnatural Selection. Turn 2, I play Verdant Touch and then activate Unnatural Selection and go off. I love that I sideboarded in a way where this should not be my plan, but here we are, and it's the plan. Canyon, Diamond, discard City of Brass, Unnatural Selection. The problem here is if I get Duressed, the shit breaks no matter what. But now drawing Life Death also gets it done. I have 2 other Verdant Touches and 4 Life Deaths in the deck. But if they like Dark Ritual out of Hippie or something, they're just going to have to chump with it. Or if they play Curse Scroll or the Rack or any such thing, they're just dead. Fingers crossed. Dark Ritual. Please play Hypnotic Spectre. Duress. Shit. We're dead. No, we're in top deck mode. It's fine. Okay. I've discarded my Wooded Foothills. You got me. And Curse Scroll. Okay. Time for big rips. I do have good draws in my deck. I will develop lands. I know they're a rack deck, but I am going to need mana on the turn that I draw whatever it is that I draw. Ooh, opponent with the Curse Scroll all in. If I keep playing out lands, their discard spells don't matter. If they had Funeral Charm, it would happen in my draw step. So maybe I can sandbag the next lands I draw. Enlightened Tutor. Does that win me the game? That can get Sylvan Library, and then we're doing something. All right, pass the turn. This would be a great turn for them to have Duress. Duress, oh no, you got me. But I got you. Sylvan Library, I believe, is the right call here. They seem to be stuck on the mono discard setup, which doesn't help against a Hellbent opponent. Now we're doing it. Oh no. Not only a land, but it taps for green, now naturalizes online. That has to be what this flash is for. Death Grip, counter target green spell. Hell yeah. That rules. I played the flip side of this, Life Force, in Legacy Elves for a while. Believe it or not. There was a time where we were doing stuff like that. Okay, this is the win, right? Okay, just have to make sure I have enough mana. And I do. All right. Top. Oh, all my lands become 1/1s. That means I want to fetch first. It doesn't matter that much, but I am interested in it. Okay. That one's... I guess I go down to land no matter what. All right, life. My lands are 1/1 creatures until end of turn. They're still lands. Target creature becomes a Griffin. Griffin? Do they have Snuff Out? Wow, that card would be terrible for me. It didn't occur to me that that could be possible, but it's in the format. They're letting me click, which makes me think they're not dead. Okay, 20 is enough. I'm going to attack. Don't snuff me, bro. Oh, yeah, that's the good shit. Okay, opponent now knows what I'm about. And at the strategic level, this is kind of tricky now because if my opponent's trying to cast Pox, I don't know, this seems like a wasteland deck to me, but also we know it's a discard deck, and lands are not susceptible to being discarded, which means if I'm building a plan around sticking the Griffin Canyon and then top decking a way to animate it, that's a great way to play against the discard deck, but it's a terrible way to play against a wasteland deck. I think the compulsion, or not the compulsion, the selection and the ability to tutor it is where I have to be here, because Reanimator is also great against discard because a lot of their discard is not targeted. Like if they Funeral Charm me and I discard Phantom Nishoba, get wrecked, nerd. I think in that case, and it's awkward that Verdant Touch turns on my Oath and Death is one of my Reanimates. I'd really like to cut one of these and get an Enlightened Tutor back in. I could cut another Petal. They're both card disadvantage to play them, but Tutor can bring my combos together or get Sylvan Library going. All right, fine. Tutor's in. It's worth the card disadvantage. Okay, I'm keeping because I would keep any hand against the rack. 7 lands, I'm in. All right, well, keep. And this is a lot better than 7 lands. Do you have another Dark Ritual start? Duress, I suspect this will take Sylvan Library. I love boarding out 2 Lotus Petals and still having both in my opening hand. That's cool. That's how Magic is meant to be played. Poorly, with no cards in your hand. Compulsion is an engine, though. It's a poor engine because blue is a splash color in my deck that I need City of Brass or Mox Diamond to turn on. Do I even play this Compulsion? I guess I probably should. This sequence just makes my hand duress-proof. Okay, off you go. I know one of the talking points in Premodern is whether Fallen Empires should be included, and Fallen Empires is where Hymn to Turok lives, so I don't have to play around that card. Currently not part of the format. Yeah! Pam, 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 pam. Got him. Who's the discard deck now? They are also motivated to get their hand smaller, so Cursed Scroll is more reliable, but I will still take a free card where I can get one. Looking for Mox Diamond, looking for City of Brass to get Compulsion going. Phantom Nishoba, alright. Oh. I can loot that one into my graveyard if I'm willing to delete my Lotus Petal forever. Though, if my opponent plays something like Pox or Funeral Charm, I get to put that in my graveyard for free. Duress, another miss. And now they see the Nishoba. So they have seen Life Death, but they have also seen Oath. They have all the information that they need to understand that Nishoba is good in my graveyard, but I probably don't want it in my hand, though I can compulse it away at will. We're in the good shit now. This is Premodern at its finest. I also don't have black. Blue and black are both splash colors. I'm a base green-white deck that sideboards into blue-black. There are a lot of sources of both, but if I use Compulsion to loot away this Nishoba, then I can't cast the Reanimate that I hope to draw with it. I am going to fetch because I don't want to draw more lands. We're just here for the thinning. Another Canyon. In over some amount of turns, I can also just cast Phantom Nishoba if the game gets real sloppy, which is possible because that's how Pox works. I think I actually probably should have played Windswept Teeth and not Wood Foothills. Ooh. Meaning if each player's upkeep, discard a card at random. Hell yeah. Well, game on. Yeah, I wish I had played out Windswept Teeth. That was actually a huge spew. And Nishoba in the graveyard. Oath hit. Okay. Well, Oath of Druids. Enter the game, please. And this Compulsion now looking pretty bad because I'm never going to have a card in my hand to loot away. I can sack this to draw a card, but that also costs my Lotus Petal to do, so I'm probably just not going to do that. Chimeric Idol, hell yeah. My opponent playing around my Oath like a boss. That's a real clock. Okay, I'm going to crack my fetches here because I need to draw spells. I'm losing Griffin Canyon in my upkeep. Another one. Okay, I didn't want the first one. I certainly don't want this one. Can I afford to compulse this away? If I miss, that's so bad. I don't think it's getting better. Or it is getting better because I could top deck any number of Reanimates and then I need Lotus Petal to use them. Opponent discarded Innocent Blood. Yeah, the Cursed Scroll plus Chimeric Idol. I'm dead real fast here. Their hand is Swamp, which they can play out. Yep, there it is. Alright, your boy needs a Phantom Nishoba in play, like, now. Yeah, getting hit for 3 puts me to 10, which means Life Death puts me to 3 if I draw it. Which means this is the last turn I can draw Life Death, and it be good. Alright, well, I'm about to lose, so I'm gonna Compulsion, discard a card, draw a card. Looking for the Verdant Touch, didn't get it. Alright, I think we're just gonna whiff out here. The sick tech, the Chimeric Idol plus Mistress Factory beating the crap out of Oath of Druids. You'll love to see it, if you're my opponent. And now it doesn't matter what I draw because I don't have a City of Brass. And I'm dead in 2 hits, so I can't even set up a 2-turn line where I Verdant Touch, because that also adds a 2 power to their board. The Rack is also the card in their hand. Alright, GG. Sick. That was a really cool match. Classic Pox Rack gaming versus somebody trying to get multiple cards to line up correctly. GG's. On to the next one. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2, and my hand is just 2 oaths. I'm going to keep 2 oaths, 3 5-color lands, Griffin Canyon. Let's hope my opponent just goes like turn 1 Jackal Pup here. That would be great. The only monster in the main deck is Nishoba, and that's because of the libraries and the life and death and all these things. Treetop Village is a little concerning. I'm going to run out my Griffin Canyon. I have life in my hand. I'm not going to play Oath. As if this is just like the Rock or something, they might have a turn 2 creature, but if this is Terrageddon, they're also an Oath deck, and I don't want to play into their hands. Birds of Paradise, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, Bolt the Bird is the saying, but you generally don't want to bolt your own bird, but my opponent might be in that position here. They might not have a choice soon. Okay, City of Brass. I will commit to Forest off of my Windswept Heath. My precious Windswept Heath that can get Forest or Plains. Is my patience rewarded? Bolt the bird, bolt the bird, bolt the bird. Ah, they did the thing! Hell yeah. Okay. Oath of Druids functioning as Hymn to Turok, but also it's going to be Oath of Druids in a moment because of the Verdant Touch. All right, opponent just taking chunks with Treetop Village. And it's sick. If I Verdant Touch the Treetop Village, it can still activate and become a 3/3, but they kind of already have a creature land, so it doesn't even really cost me anything to touch that one. And if they can blow up one of their own lands, I guess if I target a basic, they can't wasteland themselves. And if I target mountain, if they want to bolt their creature to play around it, then they take themselves off red forever. Oh, do I just have my combo? I'm over here goofing, talking about all this other shit, but I drew the Trickery Charm. Okay, so Gemstone Mine, Verdant Touch, 2/2, Trickery Charm, Griffin, game. All right, that's a 2/2. Trickery Charm in response to the City of Brass damage, just because I think that's funny. Not that it matters here. It does matter sometimes. They just don't build cards like this anymore. Griff McGriff. Off we go. They would need Pyrokinesis. There's not a lot of 0-mana interaction in this format, and especially not in these colors. We got the neat in the chat. This is neat. Thank you. Milan's lifelong goal of making this happen. Spiking Griffin Canyon. I like to believe that Milan has thousands of Griffin Canyons. It is a reserve list rare, as annoying as that is. I also like to believe that Milan just likes this card, and there's no ulterior motives at all. Hard to know. Okay, my opponent's deck has creature lands in it, but it also has Birds of Paradise. This feels like a place I want to still be an Oath deck. Stone Rain doesn't matter because it's a sorcery. If this is red-green Ponza, I don't mind a Stone Rain. I care a lot about a Wasteland. Doing it at instant speed is the important part. We've also seen Lightning Bolt, where unless you have enough Griffin Canyons to buff the one that's a creature in response to them bolting it, because the first activation, it's going to be a 1/1 or 2/2 that's about to make itself a 2/2 or 3/3, depending on how you animated it. And it's really hard to get bolt around that. Yeah, I think I actually want to pivot here, because my opponent saw that combo, and now I just want to be a different one. And if they're going to be holding up lightning bolts and stuff, playing around one thing, want to cook them with the other. Why is Engineered Plague in my deck? I didn't mean to get that. Compulsion is what I was trying to grab. Or no, Animate does what I was trying to grab. All right, I need another cut. It could just be Lotus Petal again. Sideboard games slow down in all formats. That's just how the Magic the Gathering works. Okay, I will try this. Okay, I'll keep the turn 1 Sylvan Library, a mountain. Ooh, the Oath. Okay, I could turn 1 Oath here and then animate their land next turn and then be bashing them with Nishobas the turn after that. Sold. Is that actually better than librarying, though? Yeah, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take my time. Settle down, everyone. Settle down, me. If my opponent just goes like Forest Naturalize, I'd rather the library die, because Oath is a self-contained plan, but library is scary enough that it might draw out interaction. Carplusen Forest. That's kind of a forest, but doesn't count for Submerge. Mox Diamond, and a bunch of lands. Put one on top. I'm going to keep another, because I would like to develop out some mana here. Mox Diamond, play out Oath. And they could have also held the Naturalize for Oath, knowing that it's in my deck, and not been worried about Sylvan Library. Also a reasonable way to play the game, depending on how quick you think the game's going to go. Bolt to the face. All right, getting burnt out because I paid 4 life for Sylvan Library would be embarrassing. A lot more mountains than we saw game 1 going on over here. Fires of Yavimaya, hell yeah. Your creatures have haste, and you can sack that to make them bigger. Am I going to get my Derm blasted next turn? Okay, I'm going to fetch. I hope the difference between 11 and 12 life isn't an important one, but the difference between seeing a bunch of cards and not seeing a bunch of cards might be important. Enlightened Tutor. Lotus Petal, Life Death. All right. I'm not going to pay any extra life this time around, because I'm about to be all in here. I'm going to Verdant Touch the Carplusen Forest, because that's the one that if they destroy it themselves, it cuts them off a whole color. Okay, shipping it, and hope I don't die. It is conceivable that if they play some, like, gigantic creature right now, they get haste, I mill into something that doesn't stabilize me. Like, Iridescent Angel can't die, but it's also not that big. And Phantom Nishoba, it has fake lifelink, much like City of Brass. If this creature deals damage, you gain that much life is a trigger, which means my opponent could just shove. If they have Giant Idiot hit me, and I'm dead with the trigger on the stack, that is a way this game could still go. Yeah, Wasteland in the deck. Glad I'm on the other plan here. They could waste their own forest. I did not play around that. If I had animated a basic, they wouldn't be able to do that. But like I said, I was trying to take them off colors here. Backup Fires. Waste your own homie. Is it happening? Okay, they keep passing priority through phases, then pausing. All right. Ultimately decided that the Wasteland was worth it. Now they don't have green mana. That was part of the plan. Do I have a good hit for Enlightened Tutor? I don't really want the cards on top of my deck. I could just get another library, but then I know that's there. It's Life Death, Lotus Petal, and one unknown on top right now. I could get a backup Oath. I guess I want a backup library more than I want a backup Oath. I could get Compulsion. Oh yeah, that's the one. Because I actually do have Stable Blue, and I have a dumbass big animal in my hand that I'm not currently able to use. That means I wanted the Life Death that I just shuffled away. All right. Top, play Compulsion, and I'll pass the turn. It's also important to remember that if I do reanimate one of my creatures, then my opponent will get to trigger Oath, and they have double fires in play. All right, discard a card, draw a card, clear the Angel. And now I see 2 fresh ones. Well, there it is. This also puts me to 4 against this deck that has double Lightning Bolt, and we know it. I really wish this was the other creature. Is there a way to play this turn better? All right, I'm going to put City of Brass and Life Death on top. And then I'm going to go Compulsion, discard the Gemstone Mine, draw the Life Death. Do I just send it? And losing to Double Bolt from this spot would be so embarrassing. All right, I'm going to spend another turn sculpting. Compulsion is so sweet. I love this card. Definitely a card I put in decks when I was young. I didn't own Mox Diamonds. Like, I don't have the experience of playing with all these cards when I was a kid, because I didn't have all these cards when I was a kid. But Compulsion is definitely one I had. Right, the double library trigger. Oh, Verdant Touch, let's go. All right, put back City of Brass on top and Iridescent Angel on top. And there's no reason to activate the second one. I'm going to touch this mountain. And I know there's an Angel on top of my deck if if I trigger Oath this turn, opponent is now in the spot where they have to bolt another one of their lands or face the wrath of my mighty 4/4. I actually should have stacked that the other way because I don't want City of Brass. There's a lot going on right now. Oh, Drew the Forest, that's so dangerous. If they naturalize my Oath right now, this whole plan could fall apart. Sylvan Library of Your Own. Okay. That's a little late. I go to 9. Would I rather have Phantom Nishoba in play? Because I could compulsion away the life death, draw the Iridescent Angel, then I mill City of Brass until I hit something else. I don't think I can go to 2 against this deck, so yeah, this is the plan. Okay, Oath triggers. I am 75% to hit a Nishoba here. We did it. All right, Nishoba is in play. Multiple Sylvan Libraries going to trigger here. Griffin Canyon has arrived. Put on top, put on top. You can put... Sylvan Library doesn't care how you drew cards, it just cares that you drew them this turn. So I can compulse away this Iridescent Angel. And now all of the cards I'm seeing, including the next 2, are all cards I've drawn this turn for Sylvan Library. Which means if I put back... Oh, the shuffle is tempting. All right, I'm going to put back Griffin Canyon and Gemstone Mine. I did not check my deck, or my graveyard, to see if I've milled all my forests. I hope that's not true. No, they're all safe. The 3rd Sylvan Library. Okay, Phantom Nishoba is sleepy this turn. Next turn is when we start doing stuff. This is the turn I have to worry about fires pushing over the finish line. It would have to be some pretty specific shit, like play multiple small creatures and also have Fire Blast and buff the creature that goes unblocked. I don't know. It seems like thin outs, but I'm not ruling anything out. My opponent has been sitting there for a long time, and they just sculpted their hand a little bit. But if they do add another creature to the board, and it doesn't immediately die in combat, I do get to trigger Oath and get another Nishoba, because all my Iridescent Angels are in the graveyard. It's 100% Nishobas from here. Okay, no attack. Triple Sylvan Library trigger. First one, let's go. Okay, I can put back... This is actually the entire combo. Because I can tutor for... Alright, I'm not doing all that. Okay, put on top, and then... I did that wrong. Alright, I'll just do it different now. Alright, put on top, and then stop. Okay. I'm going to attack with Nishoba. If they block, they get to trigger Oath, but I do gain a trillion life. I actually gain exactly enough life to reanimate Iridescent Angel. Okay, no block. All right. Opponent wants to race, which is scary. Getting 15 balled does not sound great, but it does. I guess it's possible. Oh, if they have that thing that they play. Saproling Symbiosis. All right, I could get combo killed here. But having a blocker and letting them Oath don't help me, so I'm actually going to just pump the brakes. There's a lot going on right now. I think I put Enlightened Tutor on top of my deck. I hope that's true. If that is true, I can sacrifice Compulsion to draw a card in the end step, and then cast Enlightened Tutor for Seal of Cleansing, and then... Or not, Saproling Symbiosis. That's not the card. What is the card? Premodern players know what I'm talking about. The one with fading, where you can put a different size creature into play equal to the fade counters on it. That's the card I'm worried about right now. But Seal of Cleansing plays around it. We got a needed the land there in the chat, so I think they do have the card. I'm just fully brain farting. Okay, yeah. The card I'm thinking of is a 5-drop, and everyone in the comments, go ahead, tell me what it is. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the draw in round 3. What do we think, chat? Is all 3 Phantom Nishobas in my hand a good start? I'm going to mulligan. Okay, here we go. Keep, and I'll bottom a Forest. My hand is duress proof and mostly counterspell proof. A Forest. Wild Growth. All right, looks like we're against Enchantress. That's the card I just shuffled away. Okay, I am going to play Sylvan Library without shuffling my deck because all of these shuffles will be useful once Library's in play. And I know there's a Forest on the bottom of my deck that I don't want to draw. Sarah's Sanctum. Yikes. Argothian Enchantress, straight into Exploration. They've got it all. This is going to be a tough one. We're against a proper tier 1 deck. Oh, no follow-up land, which means their hand is all spells, which doesn't make me feel better. Mox Diamond, Trickery Charm. Am I just paying the max here? Is this the game we're playing? Alright, pay for life, pay for life. I'm trying to combo this player out before they kill me. Fetch land. Mox. Second library with a shuffle in between. Now we're gaming. Gotta find the Griffin Canyon before I'm dead. Elephant Grass. Alright, that makes Griffin Canyon cost 2 to attack. It is not a black creature. Fuggo off-brand Windswept Heath. Look at my Windswept Heath and know that even though you're kicking my ass in the game, I am superior in having good-looking cards. Which is what really matters in Magic the Gathering. Pay to win. Pay to win the moral victories. And Griffin Canyon is susceptible to Summoning Sickness rules. It does have to be in play for a turn. Lands are not affected by Summoning Sickness, but if a land suddenly becomes a creature, that matters. Seal of Cleansing. Okay. Miri's Guile. Yeah, it's turn 3, by the way, and they still have 4 mana to spend. I hate when I run into a good deck when I'm being silly. Parallax Wave. Alright, well, I can never beat that either. Good news, everyone. Okay, now I don't even know what my plan is. Immediately zapped off Seal of Cleansing on my Mox Diamond. Alright, I'll take it. Petal. I don't think I'll be keeping that this turn. Oh god, I don't want any of this. Top, top. Fetch. Library again. Top, top. You can put away ones that you drew off the first library. Enlightened Tutor. I don't think I have a single out left in this game. I guess all I can really do is hope the cumulative upkeep and the fading run their course, and then I can move on with life. What does that even look like? If my opponent has a good turn here, I'll concede. It's hard to have a bad turn when we knew their hand was all spells 2 turns ago, and then they cast a bunch of spells. And now they're also setting up the top cards of their deck. Alright, yeah, I'm good. Now they're drawing twice as many cards per turn. I'm out. My window has closed. Hey, how do I actually beat this deck? Gloom. White spells cost 3 more to cast. White activated abilities cost 3 more to activate. Engineered Plague can kill Enchantress. Seal of Cleansing gives me a shot. Yeah, I think I want to be the full discard, reanimate, oath combo deck here. What does that look like? Enchantress does have creatures. I don't need to be that fussy about turning on their oaths if I'm on my max juke here. This is a lot of blue and black cards coming in though, which means City of Brass and Mox Diamond are going to be pretty essential. Am I bringing in Gloom here? They're a base green deck. They do have white spells. Their white activated abilities are like Starling Grove. I didn't actually show them any way that I can win the game. My strategic advantage going into sideboarding is they don't know how I win. We did it. Yeah, even though all these colored spells are coming in, I just think Lotus Petal's the worst card. Okay, here we go. Big pivot. The paltry removal that the space in the deck allows. Oh my god. Perfect mana. I'm gonna mulligan. This hand doesn't do anything. Okay, here we go. We got good mana again. I'm gonna keep, and I'm gonna bottom one of the life deaths. I can't imagine needing 2 of those. But 2 oaths. We know they play Seal of Cleansing in high numbers. City of Brass, pass. Miri's Guile. And I am gonna play the oath, because the best turn 2 play in their deck is Enchantress. And even if they just don't play it out because they see the oath, slowing them down is a place I want to be. We got a nice in the chat. I assume it's over the Griffin Canyon, not over the oath. Oath is boring. Griffin Canyon is hell yeah. Seal of Cleansing. Opponent's getting set up around here. Ooh, okay. What do I want to do with this? I think I want to name Enchantress's Presence because I want Argothian Enchantress to come down. Enchantress's Presence. Argothian Enchantress. Oh god, 2 more disenchants? Awful. Nightmare fuel. Alright, well, all I can do is play out my other oath and squeeze. Bummer. Well, it's going to take them several turns to get an engine going, but the bad news is that engine isn't going to get going unless I find another therapy to take out the Enchantress. It turns out that Enlightened Tutor decks might be functionally disadvantaged versus main deck Seal of Cleansing as a 3 or 4 of decks. Oh, you fucking snake! Okay, well, that was the best card they could have, which is why I named it last turn. What do I need to do here? I think what I need to do is reanimate a monster somehow. Yeah, Miri's Guile is a bad Sensei's Top, but it turns out that Sensei's Top is good even when it's bad. My opponent is getting, they're looking at 1 new card per turn because they're not shuffling in between and they don't have a draw engine going, but still just the ability to float presence on the top and then draw it when you want it. Bad news for me. Yeah, against this particular setup, my opponent has the Griffin Canyon combo would be the nuts because none of their shit interacts with that, but it's not even in my deck anymore. All right, well, here's this, but we know they can blow up both oaths. All right. I'm good. That's too devastating. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/TheResleevables. I'm on the draw in round 4. I like my hand just fine. And Phantom Neshoba, what a banger. Awesome art, awesome frame, awesome card. Just across the board. Out of the park. Make cards like Phantom Neshoba and Spiritmonger again. WotC, you cowards. Okay. I drew Mox Diamond, so I'm going to jam out Sylvan Library. I suspect that to be higher impact or give me more options versus this Mystery City of Brass deck. City and Island. I wonder if I'm playing against like Groatog or something. Oh, there's white in the pool. That's not good for my Sylvan Library. Meddling Mage, okay. Are they on the level? Are they naming Oath? That would be such a beating. But it is a good thing to name. Oath of Druids, yep. Opponent is, in fact, on the level. Nightmare scenario. Trickery Charm. That doesn't change what Meddling Mage is naming. Okay, Life Death. I'm missing the Griffin Canyon, but have the rest of my combo here. How much damage can I take from this Meddling Mage? It's not a lot. Alright, I mean, I am paying everything to keep everything, because that's all I can really do here. Yeah, that's format knowledge rewarded. You see a Forest and a Mox Diamond, you name Oath of Druids, because that's not only is that likely what my deck's doing, it's also the biggest punish of your Grizzly Bear if you name anything else. Good shit. Yeah, this Enlightened Tutor package, not currently helping. The Enlightened Tutor package has been pretty underwhelming, actually, throughout the whole league. With 4 Sylvan Libraries, I feel like I just have cards moving around, and the Oath package is so redundant, or the Enlightened Tutor package is so redundant, I frequently have a copy of the thing that I would Oath for anyway. Ooh, alright. You're saying there's a chance. I put back Mox Diamond and Windswept Teeth, play Griffin Canyon, and next turn I can send a shot. And my shot loses to Counterspell, Swords to Plowshares. Disenchant. So many things. But a shot's a shot, and I'm going to take it. A library, top. At least see some fresh library cards next turn. Library cards, haha. That's the thing that you can get at your local library. Okay. Life. It never dies. Women are my favorite guys. Anyone else know that song? I'm a big fan. Alright, target creature becomes the type of your choice to land a turn. I'm ready to get completely roasted by Swords to Plowshares here. Unlucky. Okay, well, that happened, and there's nothing I can do about it. Efficient interaction. Also attacking with City of Brass deals 1 damage to me, so I'm not even gonna do it. This is bullshit. Okay. Blown out by a predictable and commonly played card. My nemesis. Main deck AK, or main phase AK. Yeah, they're missing land drops. Hand us all spells over there. Unfortunately, I'm busy being hardlocked by a meddling mage. Again, like Garfield intended. Top. Play the forest. I take 2, I hit a land drop. I take 2, I hit a land drop. Then I lose to City of Brass at 1 life to cast Phantom Neshoba. Is this game even winnable? I guess if I draw Verdant Touch, I could just animate one of my lands and put it in front of Meddling Mage. If I had known the matchup, I would have just led on Oath instead of Sylvan Library. But I got tricked by the City of Brass Go, and it turns out it's a creature deck. Okay, I need a shuffle. I hope they counter this. All right, didn't work. I don't actually want any of these cards. What do I want? All right, I wanted Verdant Touch. I already identified that. All right, fail to find. The old 1 mana discard a card, shuffle your deck. Lotus Petal. Nothing. All right, GG. Okay. Noted. I've filed into my memory banks as I learned this format that City of Brass could represent turn 2 Meddling Mage in the main deck. All right, well, I want the partial juke. Unnatural Selection, 1 Trickery, Charm. Verdant Touch less important because their deck has creatures. All right, let's go. Oh, this hand is not good. I'm going to mulligan. No mana to really do anything. There is mana here. What do I do with it? This hand just also looks bad, is the problem. If this were a 7, I could do the skip my first turn trick and discard the hand size and then reanimate on turn 2. But A, I'm on the play where that's harder to do, and B, this is a mulligan, so I'd have to skip my first 2 turns. Yeah, I think this hand just doesn't do anything. This hand, I could turn 1 Oath, I guess. All right, I'll keep and bottom Iridescent Angel, and it's probably Mox Diamond. Like, I'm not going to discard a land I draw. All right. Okay, turn 1 Oath. Certainly that will be good enough, right? Actually, it's going to be turn 1 Sylvan Library. Being on the play means I have a turn to try to find that land before my opponent can Meddling Mage my Oaths again. And I have a touch to make them have a land, or have a creature. Okay, I just need Sylvan Library to deliver a land, and we've got a plan. Mox Diamond is not a land. I hate Magic. All right. Pay 4 life, pass the turn. We're going to get Meddling Maged again. A opponent fetches, got a basic island there. I've never been so unhappy to see Chris Bakula. Crazy shit. We had it all. We could have had it all, team. Gee. Sorry, viewers and Milan, but I mean, I saw 8 cards in a row without a land. What do you want me to do? On to the next round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play, and I am going to keep this hand because the Enlightened Tutor represents Oath or Library, whichever one I think is better for my second turn. A Mox D. Opponent mulled to 5. It's a little bit intimidating. Mox D, land, pass. I'm duress proof. We played around it. Please play Jackal Pup. Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna Oath of Druids your smelly face off. Okay, end of turn, Enlightened Tutor for Oath. GG. Oath. In all actuality, the game is not necessarily over here because My opponent could just like bolt their own Lavamancer and then go to spells, and I'm not actually doing anything. I could brick for a long time. And Mishra's Factory in the list. I played Mishra's Factory Burn on my channel a week or two ago. A bunch of yahoos said this is the worst deck list I've ever seen. And then I believe I 4-1 to the league, and Mishra's Factory was excellent throughout it. So scoreboard, dickbags. Okay. Life Death doesn't help me. Well, here we go. Mishra's Factory, I'm at 18. The clock begins. Killing your own creature as a value play is so busted. Man, they got Wasteland in here too, so Griffin combo's not even live. What am I going to do here? I need the Verdant Touch. That's what I need. Big Canyon, baby. All right, now I need a way. I need them to tap their Wasteland, and I need a way to turn that into a Griffin. Yeah, here we go. Getting burned out. Remember when I said GG 2 turns ago? And then immediately I'm eating my words. A second factory? I hope they animate the wrong one. Just Magic Online things. Opponent said in the chat, do you oath up Zuberi Golden Feather or something? Oh, you'll find out soon. At least I hope you'll find out. You did tap the Wasteland. Okay. If I draw one of my blue enablers, I win. Big Rip, Trickery Charm, Verdant Touch. That's not the right one. But what this does do is triggers my oath. Right, they can attack me for 6 next turn. I have to touch the mountain. Yeah, I could just die here, get burned out plus combat. But this is the one they can't Wasteland. Okay, enjoy your 2/2. Okay, if you bolt your own mountain here, it has to tap to itself, which means I didn't get attacked by it, which saves 2 life. That also means you're playing on Mono Brown, but Mono Brown is good enough to beat me here if I don't find a payoff. By the way, Zuberi Golden Feather, for those interested, is a legendary Griffin from Mirage. It's a 3/3 flying for 4 and a white. It counts as a Griffin. That's rules text because back in the day, Summon Legend was the type, and then your other Griffins get +1/+1. Imagine oathing into that. Okay, activating Mishra's Factory. I hope this mountain attacks me. Shit, it didn't. That means it's going to bolt itself. And they realize they should be leaving up Wasteland. What's this? Incinerate your own mountain. Yep. Okay. Okay. They didn't leave up Wasteland. They needed it for mana. All right. Big Rips. One of my blue cards. Verdant Touch. Are we going again? Okay. If I Verdant Touch a factory, I get attacked for 4, but then they have to waste their factory. All right. Let's go again. I kind of wish I could afford to pay the buyback on this, but tapping City of Brass in this environment seems deranged. Okay. They did miss a land drop last turn, which means if they Wasteland their own factory this turn, they're going to not have enough mana to activate the other factory. And I can stabilize at 6, maybe? Yeah, it's sick that this line also beats the Wasteland. Okay, cool. They couldn't buff it because it's not an assembly worker unless you activate it, even though it stays at 2/2. Okay, passing the turn. It's a card drawing contest from here. Oh my god. It's time. Okay. My lands are creatures. And target creature becomes the type of my choice. You're a Griffin. To the moon. Let's go. And there's no mana to Fire Blast me here. There's no mana to activate Factory and block. Yeah. I'm glad I won that game, even though it was in not the way that I thought it was going to, because shouting GG and then losing a game, you actually have to quit Magic. You don't get to keep playing anymore. Okay, Iridescent Angel is not actually good enough to beat Burn on its own. Warmth, banger. Now the Enlightened Tutor business is working. I still think it's just fully correct to Reanimator pivot because we've seen Wasteland and Lightning Bolt and Seal of Cleansing and all these, or Seal of Fire, all these things that destroy what I'm trying to do. Leaving in 1 unnatural selection just for the backdoor option. And Seal of Cleansing is for Sulfuric Vortex that can also kill animated factories. That's why I'm going a little deeper here. There's actual other cards. It's not just the Reanimator pivot. All right, here we go. Okay, this is a turn 2 Oath. Mog Fanatic. Burn does wisely play only creatures in their deck that can kill themselves. Ooh, okay. I could turn 1 Sylvan Library and turn 2 Oath here, if I'm willing to chuck all these Lotus Petals to do it. I guess I should play around Pyrostatic Pillar. Okay, passing the turn. Wasteland, played around it. Met 19. Lava Dad. Fanatic can sack to kill Lavamancer, which is still a 2-for-1. Gemstone Mine. Mine. I'm being squirrely about these Sylvan Libraries. I'm not being squirrely about Sylvan Library. I'm being squirrely about Lotus Petal. That's what I'm actually protecting here. I suspect I will be attacked for 2, and then Bonk will bonk this guy. Unless they reveal a green splash and naturalize my Oath all of a sudden. I do have traditional red in my queue, by the way. I mentioned having played the Mistress Factory kind of grindy build. But I do also have just like mono red ball lightning in the chamber. That Wood of Foothills, huge rip. Maybe I should have saved that to shuffle the library, but having solid mana, when my opponent has Wasteland face up in their burn deck where City of Brass is my other option, I got excited. I played it. Sue me. Overload my Lotus Petal. I'll float white. Got your ass. Yep, same thing. No additional value gained. All right, let's go. Can I see a good card? No, no chance at all. I'll put back top. I don't really want this City of Brass at play. My opponent has already shown me Overload. I guess I'll just save this Mox Diamond for a turn where I do a bunch of stuff all at once. Uh-oh. My Nemesis. Overloading my other petal. That one can resolve. I'll allow it. Look at 2 cards, and they're all bad. Okay. Put on top, and decline, because it doesn't matter. Playing at the city actually is useful now, because if they Wasteland it, that's mana they don't have to Animate Factory, that's mana they don't have to attack a Griffin Canyon in the future. Bloodstained Mire is probably just here to fuel Grim Lavamancer. I don't think they have swamps. Fetch in the end step. Mountain confirmed. Wasteland confirmed. That's fine. I accept. And the factory beats begin. Yeah, now that my Lotus Petals have both been overloaded, I have significant regrets for not saving that fetch land to shuffle. Oh my god. Can I pay 4 life 1 time to get through this a little faster? So how does that actually work in Magic terms? If I pay 4 life, I see 1 card a turn sooner, but it advances their clock by 2 turns. So I'm moving 1 turn ahead and moving them 2 turns ahead. I don't think I want to do those things. I do actually want to play Lotus Petal instead of Sylvan Library, though, because they've shown me a willingness to overload these things or interact with them, and I'm sandbagging this Mox Diamond to hopefully tap for a different color at some point in my life. I was about to make a joke that I wish my opponent would misclick and accidentally animate their factory in my upkeep, but that is too late to trigger Oath. That doesn't even work. Phantom Neshoba is... I now have eyes on this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 meta. I'm halfway there. All right. I'll go top. And I think I am going to develop the City of Brass now because I have something to cast if I draw lands on my next 3 turns. I'd only be 1 mana away if they haven't overloaded all my Lotus Petals. That's clever. And they wouldn't have been able to overload the Lotus Petals if I hadn't played around Pyrostatic Pillar. Top. Forest. That's 5. The race is on. There's 3 cards in my opponent's hand. I hope they're all just shitty creatures. If they're burn spells, even if I do rip out here, it might not be enough. Oh my god. All right. Top. We are once again rolling the dice on 1 card, 1 unknown mystery card. If it's a land, I get to cast Neshoba. I'll be at 5 life, because they're about to attack me to 6, and I have to tap City of Brass to do it. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting Overlord to come in, so playing out the things probably got me there. Fire Blast, alright, I'm at 2. Yeah, I mean, the fistful of burn at this point. And look at that, Mishra's Factory completely dominating the game of Magic. Every dumb asshole who said this is the worst deck they've ever seen 2 weeks ago when I played this build of burn, eat shit. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe watch the video before you leave a mean comment. Okay, Mox Diamond, really soft against Overload, and it's a bad top deck. I'm gonna cut that out. I could Cabal Therapy myself if I draw a monster. Like, this is something that could happen. If I were playing to that, I would probably cut Unnatural Selection. And Mox Diamond is one of my black sources, though, so that would be making the deck weirder. I actually believe a lot more in animating one of their lands with Verdant Touch than I do in comboing off through their Wasteland Lightning Bolt deck. All right, can we get Phantom Nishoba in play against Burn one time in life? Well, there's Phantom Nishoba in my hand. I mean, this could be a team. I could keep. All right, I'm going skip my first turn Reanimator. I could also just have Oath in play on turn 2. Like, this is so hard to navigate. Or I could Enlighten Tutor for Compulsion. Now we're talking. Okay, hold on. Everyone shut up. Settle down. Okay, I'm going to play Windswept Heath, and my plan is just leave up Enlighten Tutor. If they don't play out a creature, I'll get Compulsion. If they do play out a creature, I'll get Oath. Okay. Well, here we go. Let's play this game again. All right, Enlighten Tutor for Oath. How many times will I walk into this trap? At least once more is the answer. Okay, here we go. Do your thing, or don't do your thing. Kill your creature, kill my elf, whatever your thing is. We know there's a thing. Fanatic, okay. We got the 2-for-1. Slick moves here. Holding priority, sacking Fanatic, getting 2 damage out of the Lavamancer instead of just attacking with it. Clever, clever. Okay. Now, deck please. Let's do something this game. Seal of Fire, okay. Seal of Fire. None of these cards are Mishra's Factory. Log Fanatic. I mean, you're just going to have to sack that. Deal. I accept. 2 cards left in hand. I'm at functionally 11 life. Yeah, I mean, like, drawing lands isn't the worst here. I'm a few turns away from casting Phantom Nishoba. Drawing lands is kind of the worst for them, but that does set up multiple Fire Blasts are possible. Animate Dead. Yeah, now Compulsion's really good. Curse Scroll, that's bad for me. Sylvan Library, okay. Let's move some cards around, team. There's a lot of good hits in my deck. Opponent's going to take the 50-50 on Curse Scroll here. There's 2 cards in their hand. I hope they're not the same thing. Hope to win a coin flip. My life total did drop, so Incinerate's at least one of the 2 cards in their hand. That means there's 7 damage at will. 3 cards in their hand now. Gemstone Mine, not bad. Okay. What's the plan here, team? I could Enlighten Tutor for Compulsion. I have to tap 2 City of Brasses to do that, though. I could also Verdant Touch one of their mountains. They would attack me with it, then burn it off. Yeah, that's not good enough. I can't pay 4 here. We're past that phase of the game. Okay, so if I Enlighten Tutor for Compulsion, then tap 2 cities, I'm at 11. If they win their Curse Scroll die roll here, I'll be at 9. 3, 7. All right, I think the Enlighten Tutor for Compulsion line is the best one I've got. Top, and pass the turn. All right, Curse Scroll. It's a 1 out of 3. Don't do this to me. Yeah, you could also just cast Incinerate and both make Curse Scroll better and my life total smaller. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so their hand was just 2 Incinerates. It wasn't even a coin flip. Second Curse Scroll. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just dead. Yeah, and like Seal of Cleansing doesn't even help anymore. Damn it! You would think a deck with 9 ways to shove Phantom Nishoba into play would be solid against Burn, especially when they can't use any of their creatures, but that's just not true. Or at least it wasn't true in this case. Is there even anything left to do here? And I'm just dead. Curse Scroll's too good. I guess I'll Enlighten Tutor for the shuffle. And not a one of these cards matters. Yeah, this is the line 3 turns ago, but just bricked off a little too long. And there's just nothing here. Is there anything I can draw? I feel like I've been in this position a lot, which makes me think that the Enlightened Tutor package isn't actually a good one. And boarding out the unnatural selection doesn't matter because they have 4 permanents in play that could all pick off the Griffin Canyon before it buffs itself. Oh, that's not the solution. All right, I'll get Compulsion and die. I'll at least do something cool on my way out. Warmth, thanks for showing up, you asshole. All right, top. The twisted thing here is they could just kill me in response to Compulsion activation. They have 6 damage on the board. They could kill me right now. They just want to see what I'm doing. I know I'm dead. You're not fooling me. Oh, I don't even have enough mana to do it all. Is there a land on top of my deck? There would have to be. Heck yeah, we did it. We put Phantom Neshoba in the graveyard. And now I die. Okay, that kind of fell apart at the end. Okay, Griffin Canyon combo I don't think is going to shake up the pre-modern metagame. I think what we need to do here is either build out or completely cut Enlightened Tutor. I think that's where I would take this deck next. Because with the Sylvan libraries and pretty reliable shuffles, there's 8 fetch lands here. That's a lot of looking at cards. I'm also not sure Lotus Petal is what we need. I understand the appeal of wanting to go fast and the appeal of accessing your various splash colors. Our deck with basic forest, basic plains, and then blue cards and black cards that are all important to the plan. That is something you have to solve. But I think Diamond Mine and City of Brass are doing enough. I actually really like Verdant Touch turning on Oath. That's a cool interaction. I wonder if you need this many Trickery Charms. The desire to go fast versus the desire to have the thing available. Like, we could play 1 Trickery Charm, or maybe even 0, and just have Unnatural Selection as an Enlightened Tutor bullet when it's time to go. And then that could open up, like, Seal of Cleansings, or cards that are desirable to have in the pre-modern format, generally speaking, off of Enlightened Tutor. We could play fewer tutors. The balance between 4 Charm, 4 Tutor, I think that is too much. I want less of one of these 2 cards, and from there, deck building becomes more interesting. And depending on which one you cut, will inform all the decisions you make after that point in deck building. As far as maximizing sending Griffin Canyon, I think this deck is really well constructed. It has the maximum redundancy possible and the maximum dig possible to make the thing happen. I'm with it. If we want Griffin Canyon to be a combo that exists within a shell that can do other things, that's where we start to peel it back a little bit. And at some point, like, if we're talking about having 1 Unnatural Selection and 2 Griffin Canyons in a Oath deck with an Enlightened Tutor package, that deck has lost the identity of being a Griffin Canyon deck, and that's just not what we're doing anymore. But I think we can maintain the identity while cooling off on Charm and heating up on Enlightened Tutor, or the other way around. Something in the Enlightened Tutor package that is removal or gains life or stops a creature in some way would have gone a long way here. The number of times I put Enlightened Tutor on the stack just to clear the Sylvan Library cards and intentionally failed to find, that shouldn't really happen. I'm going to leave this one here because rebuilding the deck would be many steps. I'd have to pick a direction and then go several steps down that direction, and both directions lead to different decks. But Griffin Canyon did pop off. We did win a match. We did win other individual games with the Canyon combo. Count it. The long-term goal of Spike and Griffin Canyon. Soldiers on. Milan, thank you for submitting this deck. Everyone, thanks for watching. Hope you had fun. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.